Welcome to 2024. It is January 4th, 2024. And guess what? The Postpartum Freedom Community, my membership program for women who want to feel like themselves again and let that catapult them into a life that is beyond their wildest dreams. But it begins with a solid foundation of nervous system and mental health wellness. We are live, my friends. And if you are one of the first, I've said 10, but I might be generous and get it up to 20, but it depends how much demand there is right away. But if you are one of the first 10 women to join us, you get 50% off for life because you are a founding member. So listen to this episode, yes, and check out the new community page, the membership page. Go to lizzieLangston.com/community. That is the link currently. If it changes, I'll let you know. Always listen to the most recent episodes for all the links you need. lizzieLangston.com/community and check it out. I worked for hours. I worked my butt off on that sales page for you guys. I want you to really understand what is here for you because it has been knocking on my soul's door for a good 2 freaking years. And she's ready, baby. She's ready, bitches. All right. So lizzieLangston.com/community. The membership is waiting for you. Use code FOUNDINGMEMBER, all caps, all one word, to get 50% off for life, baby girl. And that's live coaching at least twice monthly, sometimes more, and some yoga. It's going to be amazing. If you're on my weekly email list, what's up, girl? You see me all the time. Sorry, I just made myself cough with all that excitement. I just recorded a video for you. I'm dressed in red with red lipstick because I was in a book club today about Mary Magdalene and she's all ready, red. So in that video, I tell you and I ooze this energy to you about the new Postpartum Freedom Community. Oh my gosh, you guys, this membership. All right, if you have been interested in weight loss, this episode will be for you. Listen up.
Welcome to the Postpartum Coach podcast, where we embrace our needs as moms. We learn to lead ourselves first, then our families, and where we create our own healing from the inside out to find our way to the work we were meant to do in this world. I'm your host, a fellow mom of 3 and a certified life coach, Lizzie Langston.
Welcome to the Postpartum Coach podcast, everybody. It is a beautiful new year. We are here in 2024, and I wanted to kick this year off with delving into something that I didn't know a lot about, actually, until recently. So you guys know I loved my OB that I worked with. I was planning on a home birth, then needed to have a planned induction, and then it ended up being an emergency C-section. And I was with Dr. Brass Jones at the Center for True Harmony and Wellness in Chandler, Arizona, Gilbert Chandler. It's such a great place. And they are awesome because not only do they offer obstetrics and gynecology, they also have midwives, certified nurse midwives that can service you in the hospital as well. And so they give you just that holistic vibe. And then they actually are developing a whole new building, and they have been offering and are continuing to offer massages and so many services. So today I have Mary Crawford with me, who I am going to interview, and we're going to get all the juicy details from her about everything that the Center for True Harmony, which is it was my homeland of my postpartum and birth experience. I loved using them. So I love to talk about them, but this isn't just about them. We want to educate you today, Mary and I, and actually really just Mary. I'm actually leaning back and going to be the student today too. So Mary, I'm just going to introduce you to her real quick, and then I'll let her introduce herself. But she is a licensed esthetician. She's a massage therapist and body contouring specialist. She's licensed at all of it. A lot of people just buy the machine and they do it themselves. She's the real deal. She's a certified aromatherapist and a skincare educator. She's a beautiful, gorgeous, adorable human being too. And she has the cutest glasses on if you're watching the video interview right now. So she's performed over 20,000 services in her 24-year skin and body care career. And I actually got to meet her and see her machines. I sat on this pelvic floor strengthening machine that shoots like electric currents into your pelvic floor rather than having to do your Kegels or whatever. And She also gave me a lymphatic massage. I swear I almost fell asleep. And actually, let me just say one more thing before I let her speak. I'm so sorry, Mary, but I'm really excited about this because I have gained some weight, as we do as women. Our bodies ebb and flow. They're like the moon, right? And we change all the time. And so as you have this baby and then you go to postpartum, your body does all sorts of different things. And I just intuitively have felt that the way that I'm going to lose weight this time around after baby is not the same as last time. Last time I went off of flour and sugar, I did a true weight loss protocol. This time I have felt that it's a lot more emotional. And I was talking to Mary about it, and I just knew I want to target my lymphatic system. And it was something about this very, very root system in my body that I needed to learn about to help my body release and shed weight and to regain health. And so I'm just so excited that I get to have Mary, who is a lymphatic system specialist and massage person and has a machine that can do all these things, to talk to us about it. So welcome, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today and your listeners.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So why don't you just, on a personal note, tell us about you, and then, tell us why you're passionate about this stuff, all that. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the lovely introduction. You gave a good intro into what I've done in my career, a little touched on what I've done in my career. I have been getting more into these body contouring and lymphatic drainage systems and machines a little bit more in the last couple of years. We're seeing body contouring on the rise in aesthetic wellness and medicine. And it's very exciting to be able to get into these device-based services to give a more of a restorative health-based effect, completely non-invasive as well. And I think people are really looking for that. The more non-invasive, the better, that supports health overall.
Yeah. And moms, like pregnant and postpartum, like this is so applicable right here.
It's wonderful for any age, and it's particularly after baby, before and after baby, or during pregnancy and postpartum. Definitely, there are options and solutions that I wish that I would have had when I had my son 20 years ago.
Yeah,
especially with the lymphatic. I feel like postpartum, I just stayed puffy forever.
Yes.
Forever. People still thought that I was pregnant, even though I didn't really gain that much weight with my son, but I just stayed lymphatically puffy.
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm experiencing. Yes. And when you did your machine on me that one day that I got to come try it out, I just, based on the way I felt, I thought, this is what I need. I don't need just weight loss. Like, I need to get underneath all these tissues that have just been like, when you're pregnant, you can't move your body the way you normally do. And everything just kind of gets bogged down. And then you've got the stress of postpartum, and oh my gosh. So I just really feel like this can be a really key thing for postpartum.
I agree with you. And I'm seeing this more and more. People think that it's just a weight issue, and it's not just a weight issue. It's actually more of a lymphatic system issue. So by doing treatments that can really help to stimulate the lymphatic system to move those excess waste, fluids, excess, maybe medications from labor out of your cells, that will begin the process of detox and flushing to be able to really move that extracellular waste out of your body so that your body can help to start to remetabolize itself. Because usually after you've gone through something like labor and delivery, and we know it's a traumatic process, your metabolism is usually kind of shot. Even if you had a good metabolism before, just going through all of those individual steps of pregnancy, the labor, the delivery, and then post. And I find that post, you come into a space of being really stagnant, especially if you haven't maybe been moving or exercising as much. Like you said, it's difficult, especially towards the end of the pregnancy. You just don't always really feel very well and you don't feel like overexerting yourself.
Yeah.
So then the lymph just stagnates, and combined with other things and how well your individual body has, processed the delivery and everything is going to also determine maybe how much help you'll need in recovering and returning to a new normal, a new state of normal, right? That's how we feel. It's a new normal.
Yeah. And I want to specifically shout out to any of the older moms that I'm not saying anyone's old here, but if you know that you had babies a little bit later than a lot of women do, then this is something that can really be an additional support to your body. You young mamas need it too. Like, don't think you don't. But especially if your body needs extra help and support in recovering from baby not just age, but if you had any sort of birth challenges or complications or were injured through your birth experience, I just think the lymphatic system, which we're going to go into in just a moment and kind of teach you the basics of it, can be a really great gateway into restoring vitality. And so let's go ahead and talk about it, Mary. Would you just tell us, what do you know about the lymphatic system that, in not too technical language here, what do moms, pregnant, postpartum, and just general motherhood, what can we learn about this to better, reap the benefits and maybe tend to it a little bit? Like, why is it important?
Well, the lymphatic system is really important because it's really, after the skin, which is your first line of defense, it's really your second line of defense. And it is the body's waste and removal system. So I think that understanding what it is first is important. I mean, we've all had, swollen lymph nodes and maybe, in the throat when we have colds and things like that, respiratory issues, or, if you've had breast tenderness and you've had, swollen lymph nodes under the arm or around the breast tissue. We're familiar with that, I think, as women, but we actually have lymph vessels all over our body, not just in our throat or, under the arms. We have lymph vessels in our abdomen, in our pelvic floor, behind the knees, in the feet, like everywhere. And the reason that it's important to move that lymphatic system is it doesn't have a pump. So the lymph.
I remember you telling me this and I was like, what? That's crazy. So it doesn't have a pump, so it can't actually stimulate itself. Like, we have to do it manually.
Correct. And it's, to give a little bit of a better description, it's kind of like our body's trash can system, right? As waste removal. And, we just keep throwing trash in it. And, we have to be able to effectively take the trash out. So how do we do that, right?
Yeah.
By stimulation.
Stimulation. Okay. So what does stimulation look like? Like, I mean, when I think of lymph stimulation, the only things I've really heard of is, obviously your machine and this amazing technique that you have. So I want to hear about that. And then I've heard of like jumping on a little mini personal trampoline can like help stimulate maybe. Or massage, like doing some like pointy fingers into your shoulder, kind of where your bra strap is, can help, and underneath your breasts. Like, but you tell me. These are just like the little bits I've heard here and there.
Yes, that is true. And I would say the number one thing to move your lymphatic system is movement.
Okay.
And again, that's why throughout pregnancy and post, it's so important to get movement. And, again, towards the end of pregnancy, when we probably don't really feel like moving as much, or post-pregnancy, postpartum, when we're so busy caring for that new little baby, it's very, very hard to focus on ourselves and to make time for ourselves. However, that truly is when we will really need that movement the most. But some easy ways that people can move their lymphatic system at home, like you were just saying, rebounding on a trampoline is one way. That's a fantastic way to get the body moving.
Yeah.
And very easy. It doesn't take jumping really hard on it either. It can just be like the most subtle of bouncing for about 10 minutes. is all that it takes to move the entire lymphatic system. That's one way. Another way is to do dry brushing. So,
I've heard of dry brushing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, and that's actually one of my most favorite ways to move the lymphatic system in self-care is to dry brush. You can dry brush every single day of your life and you wouldn't overdo it. But there are also benefits to dry brushing. There are skin benefits. There are exfoliation benefits, gentle exfoliation benefits. I think most people have seen the dry brushes. They just don't know what to do with them. So there's a technique that you follow with the dry brushes and the skin brushing to, you do it on dry skin and you move the brushes up the body, moving towards the heart. You want to always sort of move towards the heart in most areas of the body. That's definitely a technique that I work with on my massage clients or my lymphatic clients who want to learn the technique. I do that one-on-one so that they learn how to do that properly. There are some really great videos on YouTube and things like that that demonstrate the technique. If you're looking for it or just to get a visual of what that looks like, I would look for a video that is made by a lymphatic or lymphedema specialist. And they're out there if you do a search.
Okay. So dry brushing and then
Dry brushing.
10 minutes on a trampoline. So my question is, I'm already thinking in my head, moms, they already have so much to do. Is there a way that they might already be doing it that they can just be aware of and maybe spend a little longer? Like if they take their baby on a walk in a stroller, is there something they could do on their walk that would be stimulating to the lymph? Or, you know what I mean? Like just trying to work it into what they're already doing.
Yeah, the walking exercise, exercise is also just exercise across the board is a great way. And it can be gentle walking post delivery that will also help to do that walking for at least, 10 to 20 minutes at a time. Mm-hmm. Kind of 10 minutes seems to be that magical number to stimulate the lymphatic movement. But yeah, just gentle walking, exercising, and surprisingly, deep belly breathing.
Ooh, deep
belly breathing. Yes, is also another way to stimulate those processes, particularly with the lymphatic vessels in the abdominals. Mm-hmm. So very important. Take the time to just breathe.
Wow. I am having like a moment here where I'm really feeling, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Mary. I'm really feeling like the lymphatic system, I don't know. Sometimes postpartum, we're sleep deprived. We're just barely hanging on. We're in survival mode. And we're looking for a way to jumpstart ourselves back into a normal sense of flow and back into the health. Our health, we want it to get back to where it was, and it can be this uphill climb. Can you give some thoughts on how stimulating your nervous system makes you feel, even just energetically? I'm assuming you've had it done for you and you witness clients regularly doing this. I'm wanting to know and talk about that. I can say how I felt too, so I want to share on this too, but what can people expect to feel if they really start to make their lymphatic system and stimulating it a priority? And then I think we've gone into ways of how to stimulate it. I do feel a little bit of cluelessness personally around like what it really is. I get that it's in charge of removing toxins and eliminating, but maybe even just visually, if you guys wanted to Google, but it just sounds like it's like little, what are those called? Lymphs, like the little
lymphatic vessels,
lymphatic vessels in the body. So maybe let's go over like what it looks like in the body, like how it kind of visually is, and then ways like how you feel after you really get it going and how it could maybe give momentum.
Okay. Well, the lymphatic, you're right. The lymphatic system houses several systems inside of it, right? So the lymphatic fluid is a big one, and we can feel that especially during pregnancy and post with the swelling that we get, in hands, in feet, in legs, in the arms are the most common in pregnancy and post. So lymphatic fluid, lymph nodes, lymph vessels, and as well as the organs, the spleen, the thymus, and let's see, I'm forgetting something. The spleen, the thymus, the tonsils, and the adenoids.
Oh, the tonsils. Yeah. Okay. And you know what? After my C-section, I noticed that whole area is still very bulgy. And I do think I have some diastasis recti that I will need to like specifically go to and figure that out. But I've noticed there's swelling just around the scar. And so that's one reason that I came to you, was to see if we could help get that swelling down through the lymph system.
Yes, definitely. And also I should just note that when you don't have tonsils or adenoids, and a lot of us who were 80s babies when that was really popular to have your tonsils removed during that decade, you can also have a little bit of a more difficult time with lymphatic swelling and sensitivity and things like that as well.
Interesting. That is so interesting, because I know the tonsils play a role in our immunity. And so
they do. And
the lymphatic system also does. And so that's interesting.
Yes, definitely. So by moving the lymph, you will directly affect the immune system. And you will raise the immune system by moving the lymph, which can really help you in preventing and recovering faster through colds, flus, allergies, infections, things like that. Which is particularly helpful in the winter time. I definitely recommend that people increase their lymphatic movement in the winter months, which is oftentimes people don't want to move as much in the winter time, especially regionally, when it's colder outside.
But a dry brush you can do in your bathroom. You don't have to.
Absolutely. And then there are other things too, massage, lymphatic drainage massages. Our device here that you've so kindly spoken about with our new endo lymphatic device is a tool that I have in the treatment room to be able to very effectively and very efficiently move the lymphatic system in a very gentle way that will have all kinds of benefits to the body.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, if a mom's baby is getting sick, or maybe the older sibling is sick, and so she's trying to keep her baby healthy, some regular little baby lymphatic massage.
Yes. And the babies respond so well to that. It also brings to mind for me that while the baby is in utero, that's why it's such a wonderful time to get lymphatic based treatments, whether it's lymphatic massage or even regular massage. Regular massage will help stimulate the lymphatic system as well. But the actual technique of lymphatic drainage is very light pressure on purpose, because it's a very superficial system. So if you go too deep, you'll actually bypass the lymph and go into the blood and the muscle tissue.
Interesting. Okay. If you want to hit the lymph, you can't actually go too deep. And so if you want to attend to the lymph system, it's a light pressure massage, and you want to go to somebody who's really trained in that.
Exactly. And if you're dry brushing yourself at home and trying to work with that technique, it's not a hard, very frictiony massage. It's very light. It's very superficial, which is why I like to work with my clients specifically one-on-one to show them how to do the technique, to help them to be able to do it correctly.
Right.
And then that, in combination with anything that we do professionally in the treatment room, will make sure that it's all done correctly for them with the right pace and the right pressure. And I really enjoy that, because we're working in conjunction with each other, especially during pregnancy as well as post. I just feel like we women need so much support during and after.
Yeah,
it's it's such a big time in our lives.
Yeah. And specifically just with releasing toxins and releasing like old stagnant stuff and waste. So that's exactly what this system does. So so I want to just touch real quick on, what people say to you, the feedback they give you, and as far as how they feel in their body and the sensations they experience, and even just like how their skin might change or, the over time, what they see or what you've seen through regular lymph massage. And then let's talk about the center, True Harmony for Wellness, and what you guys do and the machines and stuff.
Yeah. So some of the benefits that I see are that reduction in edema and swelling of the tissues. So we're really reducing inflammation and helping to flush that excess waste more efficiently. My patients will oftentimes feel that come out through sweat or through excretions, urinary or fecal excretion. I think people don't mind how it comes out as long as it comes out. But by removing that, they just feel so much better. It can alleviate painful conditions like swelling in the feet, swelling in the legs, swelling in the hands and arms. The skin will look more vibrant because when you move the lymph, you also move the blood and the circulation, and it creates an oxygen response in the tissues of the skin, which is a healthy skin response for the skin. And it will help the skin look more vibrant. It will also help the skin recover faster.
Yeah, I would say if you guys are watching this video and you're looking at Mary and her skin is so gorgeous, it's so vibrant. And it's not like you have amazing lighting over there. It's not,
I have fluorescent lighting and
right. You have some fluorescent lighting, but literally like there's like a dewy glow to it. And it's like, right? Oh, it's so great.
Thank you. Well, I focus a lot on hydration and having just healthy skin. And yes, I do regular lymphatic drainage on my skin as well. And it also helps with skin conditions like acne, like eczema, even dry skin, just by picking it up and, flushing the tissues. It's very beneficial for skin. And I should mention strengthening the skin. And that's something I think is very important and a little misunderstood about our skin. We really want to keep our skin as strong as possible so that way the lymphatic system doesn't have to absorb as much, since our skin is our first line of defense from the outside world. So by keeping the skin stronger, we're also helping the lymphatic system to not have to absorb as many toxins through the skin.
This is extremely fascinating. I feel like a little baby child. I'm like, I've never even heard of this. What is this about? This is why I love having wise women who know more than I do on my podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's very kind.
So good. So you're over at the Center of the Center for True Harmony. And this is really, it's an OB practice, but it's all these midwives as well. And then we have massage therapists and stuff. So do you want to just give us a rundown of, for those who are local to this area-ish, local-ish, it's definitely worth a drive, guys, if you are not super close. But yeah, what sorts of things are you guys offering over there? And even just to inspire other practitioners or talk to your local OBs and tell them, I just am so inspired by the way that Dr. Brass Jones runs her practice and the way that it's growing and the types of help that the holistically minded help and the array of help that she is offering to pregnant and postpartum women. And I think you guys even have like membership options for people to make it more affordable. So tell me all the things.
We do. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Brass Jones is wonderful. And she is also partnered with Dr. Denise Groby, who's a naturopath. So not only do we have OB services, we also have naturopathic services here. We are located in Mesa, Arizona, right on the border of
Chandler. You should have interrupted. Okay. You're in Mesa. Okay.
Technically, our address is Mesa. If you're local, our cross streets are Country Club and Baseline. roads. And we have been in the same location here for many, many years. Dr. Brass and Dr. Groby were actually one of the very first holistic obstetric women's wellness focused centers in the whole East Valley of our area. So they were, sort of pioneers as far as the combination of services to bring more holistic women's wellness focused services to this area. It's always been their focus, and it's still their focus. And we love our women, not only our pregnant women, but any woman who is having hormonal challenges from pregnancy and IVF issues, postpartum, all the way up through menopause.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So tell us, so you guys have got so many things. I've yes. seen a little menu in the waiting room, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's always yes. surprising to me.
We also have, you mentioned our doula and our midwifery program, which is a very big program here at True Harmony. And then on the aesthetic and bodywork side, we are expanding. We are growing into a second location because we're just bursting here at the seams at our original location with all that we're doing. So very soon we will be moving into a new location, a second location in 2024. Although all of the aesthetic and massage and everything we do on that side will be here at the original location. And as far as that goes, we are going to continue to expand into more skincare offerings. Lymphatic facials will be a part of that, as well as lymphatic massage and body treatments. We have non-ablative laser-based services that we'll be doing that will help with skin restoration, skin firming and lifting. We will be bringing in laser hair removal services. We do waxing and hair removal already. We're already offering that. And I do specialize in pregnancy for hair removal, which is unique because not all waxing centers or estheticians will take pregnant clients during that time because they do get very sensitive. So we do have numbing and desensitizers and things like that we use to help to make that service more comfortable. So that's another way that we support our pregnancy-based clients. We have the pelvic floor service, which we're very excited about that. You got to experience sitting on the pelvic floor seat. That is really designed for postpartum. You can do it as soon as 6 weeks after birth to help to retighten the pelvic floor. It's just muscle contracting at a high speed so that we can help to restore the strength that has been lost either through vaginal delivery or through C-section, because we do have a part of that body contouring that helps to rebuild muscles if diastasis recti has occurred.
Right. So you can actually help with diastasis recti. That's cool. I didn't know.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. We very specifically with our body contouring machine that does the pelvic floor, it also does the muscle building exactly where you need it. So whether it's abs, arms, glutes, back, legs, it can be used on most areas of the body to help to restore strength where it's been lost.
That's right.
And that works in conjunction. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You had the pelvic floor seat where you sit on it, but you also have the little electro pads that you can put on any area of the body to do the same thing, but just different areas. I remember because they let me come and experience some of their machines. And I actually was like, okay, I'm booking a lymphatic massage. That one was non-negotiable. I I told her in January, I want to come in and, I just have a hunch. I just have this intuitive hunch that if I focus on the lymph, that's what's going to really drive the momentum of getting my health back to where I want it to be. So, you just go with the hunches that you have.
100%. And I'm seeing it more and more with, especially like you said, with clients or patients who are maybe older moms or maybe, it's your third or fourth, or last, child. And, it's, you're 40 instead of 30, like when you had your first one or whatever the case may
Or you're
be.
30 instead of 20 or 35 instead of 25. Yeah, totally. It feels
Right.
different. It hits different,
Right.
as Taylor Swift would say. Mm-hmm.
It is. And, we're seeing more and more patients coming in their 40s, having their last child and just feeling the difficulty of recovery, and the bounce back and everything like that. So it's very gratifying. It's very exciting to feel like we have a non-invasive tool that can quickly and efficiently help in the recovery process so that people can feel as good as possible and can be as healthy as possible to be able to get on with life and, take care of their babies and their children and their families and get back to work and to recover even faster.
Yeah. That ultimately, you guys, that's why I wanted to have Mary on today, is because it's not like it's this rush to like hurry, hurry, hurry and recover, but it's like it's your right to be able to recover. I mean, birth is not meant to be something that sets you back and back and back. This can be something that amplifies your health. You can work with your body to recover and have a more vibrant life than even before. And I know that might feel counterintuitive. And yes, we do take some of that life force and we share it with our baby, and we're happy to do that, but also you can get creative in really giving yourself back that life force and restoring. It just takes being resourceful and doing some research and listening to podcast episodes like this and learning how, as you get older and have babies a little bit more and more, you really can help your body to help itself to give back to you the way that you want. You don't have to settle into a new normal of just blah with your health. The lymphatic system can be one way that, and some of these amazing tools that they have over at True Harmony Center for Wellness can be one way that you really vamp this up. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the new year. So I just want to invite you here, 2024, brand new start. Maybe give yourself the gift of a membership or something, or check this out. I don't know. Open yourself up to other options and make sure that you're really deeply taking care of yourself. Make it a priority. Look at your insurance. See if they cover stuff like this. You never know. Post 2020, I feel like insurances are covering more than ever. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's insurance. I will just say insurance is not keen just yet to cover a lot of these things, unfortunately. However, I think the more mainstream these types of services become, and the more people ask for things like this to be covered, eventually the insurance companies will probably follow suit. But it's a matter of educating yourself and learning about what's out there and available. And unfortunately, most doctors don't, they don't. I don't think they focus enough on the lymphatic system, to be perfectly honest with you. But we here at True Harmony, we do, and we realize the importance of it and how important it is for you to recover and be healthy and be strong and be in more of a restored place in your body.
Yes. I love that you guys have a naturopath that is co-owner of the practice, so that you're approaching postpartum recovery from this really grounded, almost Eastern like wisdom and philosophy. So thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to share? Like how do people, we'll put the links in the show notes, you guys. So Mary sent me the links so you can check out True Harmony and what they've got going on, whether it's to use their services and become a patient over there, or whether you're another provider that is interested in opening up something like this or kind of integrating this into your practice. So any last words for you?
Definitely. Yes, I did send you the links and you can click on any of those links. We did create a special code for your listeners so that if they click the link and they use that code, I believe it gives $50 off towards any first time service. So you can definitely use that towards any of the services that we provide here. We also offer a free 15-minute consultation with our devices so that you can experience them, so that you can decide if it aligns with you, if it's the right thing for you. Sometimes it's also just timing. I definitely like to just talk to people and educate people about what it is. And then sometimes the timing is later, but just getting these types of services out there and more well known, and to get women and people talking about it that's all. The education part of it is very exciting.
It really is.
As much as doing the services themselves.
I know, which is why I chose you. So thanks again for being here. The code so it's trueharmonywellness.com. Is that correct?
That's correct. And people can also feel free to call us here at the center or get a hold of us here at the center. I would be more than happy to consult or talk with any of your listeners or viewers.
Amazing. See, they're so nice over there. I just love them. They really are a group of just amazing women. And it just feels so good to walk in there and be so held by so many women. In fact, I remember in my operating room for the C-section, which I had about a 2 hours heads up that I was going to be having a C-section. But in there was one man, the anesthesiologist. Everybody else was a woman. The nurses, Dr. Brass Jones. She had a couple of her helpers in there. It was incredible to be so held and supported. And when you walk into their offices, that's the vibe. So the code is Lizzie, Lizzie 24, Lizzie 24, and you will receive $50 off any service that is $250 or over. And so just go take a look. Again, it's trueharmonywellness.com, and that'll be in the show notes. Thank you again, Mary. Tell Dr. Brass and all the midwives I said hi.
I will. Thank you, Lizzie.
Okay, you have a good day. Thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my life coach heart for listening to the Postpartum Coach podcast, for sharing it with your friends, and for leaving reviews. You guys are the reason that this podcast has grown, and I just want to say thank you. I want you to know that if you ever want help applying the things that you've learned on here and learning more and taking it deeper, you can go to LizzieLangston.com/work with me. I have offerings to meet you at all points of a budget. And I also have my biggest bang for your buck offering is my community, the Postpartum Freedom Community. It's a membership program for women who are raising their babies and healing their own traumas and really working on their mental health and wellness. So you can go to LizzieLangston.com/work with me to check out all the offerings, everything from $27 up to a couple $100 a month. It's all there for you. LizzieLangston.com/work with me.